All right, what's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in. We're here for part two of the mini-series of what I have learned so far this year. Today, what we're going to be talking about is a little bit of a touchy subject, especially for guys. I know a lot of us struggle with this, and obviously some women struggle with this too. Vulnerability. So showing emotion. It's not a weakness, as a lot of us kind of think. Um, all right, so basically I'll run you through, the past 2 years of kind of my journey, I guess, with vulnerability and showing emotion. So in the spring of 2014, I lost my father to cancer, and I basically shut down emotionally. I didn't want to feel any of that pain or as little as possible. Um, at the time, I basically just convinced myself, I'm like, what would my dad want me to do? And I just did that. So basically, that was, making sure that my sister and my mom were okay, and I, you know, didn't really tend to what I was feeling or sink into my emotions. With this lack of emotion, yeah, sure, I was able to avoid some of the pain that I was feeling from the loss of my father, obviously. Um, and I just kind of filled it with other things, drugs, sex, the typical vices that we use. And I thought it was good. Uh, most people would see me on the outside and they're like, "Wow, man, you're really fucking strong. Like, you're looking fine. You look happy. Blah blah blah." It's all fucking bullshit. It's all a mask. Ultimately, this lack of emotion and really manifested itself in a negative way in my personal relationships. So whether that be intimate or friendships, so I basically viewed everybody as temporary. I didn't let myself get invested into like intimate relationships with girls. So every couple of weeks I'd kind of rotate. Um, I'm not saying this is healthy. This is just what I did. Um, yeah, I didn't put myself in a position to get hurt. I didn't show any vulnerability because I didn't want to get hurt. And you know what? It had worked out well for me in the past. I didn't feel as much pain as, I didn't really let myself sink into that pain and experience it. So I figured, fuck, let's just keep doing this. Excellent. Fucking terrible. Ultimately comes back and kind of bites you in the ass, after, yeah, this year I guess was, I could say the worst year, whatever you want to say, but, after seeing a couple girls and just kind of leaving them hurt and confused or, pissed off at me because I'd just get bored or whatever after a couple weeks because I didn't want to take that next step into vulnerability and really sharing with them, right? Um, so yeah, eventually you can't keep saying that, oh, well, it's the wrong girl or what the fuck ever excuse you're telling yourself. You got to kind of look inwards and be like, hey, what is it that I'm doing that's causing this cycle, right? This pattern. When I was kind of in an observing point of this cycle, I kind of realized that it's either I deal with my fucking shit or I keep going on this path that's just basically fucking people over. Uh, and that's not really a nice way to live. It might sound cool if you tell your buddies, oh, I was with this girl and that girl, and yeah, what the fuck ever. That's just that male ego bullshit. It's not really healthy. It doesn't really feel good at the end of the day when you're, by yourself in your bed alone or whatever it is, whenever you're contemplative. Um, so yeah, for the past few months, I've been doing a lot of work on self-love, self-development, attending workshops, seminars, classes. Why can't I fucking see anything? Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of workshops on self-love and self-development. I'm just kind of working on myself and kind of healing some wounds. And being more vulnerable with people, which was a huge one for me, and whether that be new acquaintances or friends or family, or if you're in an intimate relationship, really showing that vulnerability goes a long way. So, most recently, I decided to give that a shot. I was seeing this girl for a little bit, so I decided to be a little vulnerable and open up. And I did kind of get fucked over or burnt or whatever you want to call it. It didn't work out. Now, did it suck? Yeah, it sucked. Did it hurt? Yeah, it hurt. But it was nice to be able to know that I could still feel, because I hadn't let myself go there in a long time. So, kind of positive swing on that. That's enough of the downsides of being vulnerable, because not everybody is going to hurt you ultimately. I hope not. So some of like the positive things I've seen, with just being more vulnerable, being more open with people, is your friendships are just so much deeper. I have friends that I've only known for a couple months now, but feels like I've known them for my entire life, because they basically know my entire life. They know everything about me, about my story, about what makes me me, and that really comes from being vulnerable with them, being open, and being honest. And I think that's all something that we should strive for, because if you can't be open with somebody, or you can't tell them really what's going on with you, fuck that. Fuck them. See ya. Yeah, so basically, you quickly realize who deserves to be around you when you're open and honest about your emotions, and who really cares, and who's really going to take the time to listen to you, uh, and give you good advice. So the biggest bonus that I've felt from being vulnerable with people, is you put yourself in a position to experience all the positive sides of a relationship. Love, happiness, emotional intimacy, which is all something that we crave, whether we know it or not. So that's beautiful. So take home messages: be vulnerable with the people you care about, be open, be honest, and don't be afraid to share your story about who you are, because that's ultimately what makes you unique and what makes you you. Cheers.